What's sure to infuriate Donald Trump is a new poll out of Iowa that shows Ted Cruz taking the top spot. Of course, the previous leader in Iowa was Ben Carson, but now Ted Cruz has taken that top spot. So let's go over some of the details in the polls here. Now, this is according to a new Des Moines Register Bloomberg poll, and it was released over the weekend, that shows Ted Cruz having a huge double-digit jump lead over Donald Trump. Oh boy. Now, Cruz gets 31% support, followed by Donald Trump in second by 21%, and Ben Carson coming in third at 13%. Now, what's the deal with Iowa? Oh, wow, this sounds like a Jerry Seinfeld joke. It really isn't, though. So what's going on with Iowa is very, very religious. Remember, last election cycle, you had Rick Santorum leading in Iowa. He won the Iowa straw poll. And you had Michelle Bachmann also winning an Iowa straw poll. So Iowa is where the crazies win. Ted Cruz, Ben Carson definitely fit the definition of crazy. But, as I said, you have Donald Trump behind second place to Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz, actually, I believe he's doing third nationally at this moment, but he's catching up to Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump, in one of the newer polls that we had, I believe it was a New Monmouth University poll that came out, shows Donald Trump at 41% support nationally. So even though Ted Cruz is kicking ass in Iowa, that doesn't mean that he's necessarily a big threat to Donald Trump when it comes to the national election. So let's go through some of the numbers. Now, he is getting a lot of support from traditional Christian voters. Now, he carries 45% of the evangelical vote in the state, as well as 39% of self-described Tea Partiers. Wow, they still exist? I'm very surprised that Tea Partiers are still a thing, but apparently they are, all 12 of them. All right. Now, pollster Frank Luntz had actually told the Des Moines Register that it's possible that Ted Cruz could win Iowa big, very big. Now, but as I mentioned before, winning Iowa, even if you win it really big, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have a lot of luck when it comes to the national election, when it comes to the nominating process. So, it could be that Ted Cruz could definitely carry Iowa. Now, what that means to the Ted Cruz, Donald Trump thing, that's going to be very, very interesting. Now, recently you had seen Ted Cruz get blasted by Donald Trump, making fun of the fact that he's Cuban. Not a lot of evangelicals come out of Cuba, even though Ted Cruz was born in Canada, but nonetheless, you already have Donald Trump taking shots at Ted Cruz. And if you don't think they're going to really start to go to war, especially after this poll's now out, oh man. Now, Donald Trump had actually attacked the Register the day before they released this poll, saying, quote, "You have one of the most dishonest right here in your backyard. The Des Moines Register is the worst. They're very dishonest." Wow. And he also says, every time the Des Moines Register does a poll, I always do badly. Well, it's because Donald Trump, he's not doing well in Iowa because he doesn't have the religious vote. Remember, the people in Iowa on the Republican side are very, very religious. They're very evangelical. So they always go for people like Ted Cruz, Rick Santorum, Michelle Bachmann, people who don't actually win. So if Trump's actually worried about this, well, he shouldn't be. Because once again, Donald Trump's at 41% nationally. So there are the implications for that. But he goes so far. He's so upset about this one poll that shows him behind that he's claiming that they're skewing the results. That Des Moines Register. They're messing with the numbers. They're cooking the books. Because they don't like me in Iowa. You know how the media is. They hate me. No, Donald Trump, the media fucking loves you. Why? Because you give them all sorts of money. That's why Donald Trump has been in the media more than anyone else. He's gotten more media coverage than any other candidate, Republican or Democrat. Hell, Donald Trump has gotten more media coverage than every single Democrat. Every single one. Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, Martin O'Malley, Jim Webb. I mean, all of them. More media coverage than the entire Democratic field. You should love the media. They've given you all sorts of free coverage. It's amazing. It's amazing. But yeah. So there you have it. Ted Cruz, ahead in Iowa. It's not going to mean that much when it comes to the nominating process. I'm really starting to think, at this point, Donald Trump is very, very likely to win the Republican nomination. Now, what that means for the general election, well, if you can trust some of the other polls that have come out nationally, both Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton beat Trump handily. So if Trump gets the nomination, we're very likely to see, at least as this polling indicates now, and I know things can change, you might see a Democrat in the White House. And that, for my opinion, that's a good thing.